Accessible services, systems, and responses can help everyone. Providing accessible services can especially help you reach people who are most at risk and who experience some of the greatest barriers to getting help. Federal law requires organizations and agencies to make all services fully accessible for deaf people and people with disabilities, including physical disabilities, psychiatric disabilities, and cognitive disabilities, among others. There are many things you can do to make your services more accessible to every survivor, such as communicating in plain language and offering flexible appointment times and locations. However, some people have unique needs that can only be met by providing accommodations. Most accommodations are free and easy to provide, such as making reasonable modifications to your policies and practices. These might include offering to meet in a quiet space to reduce distractions for people who have difficulty concentrating, reading written information aloud and checking for understanding, allowing a client to bring a support person with them to an appointment, or removing seats in the room for someone who is using a wheelchair. Some accommodations have more costs associated with them. It is important to budget for these accommodations, such as auxiliary aids and services like American Sign Language interpreters and Braille materials. You may be wondering, why is it so important to ask everyone I work with if they need accommodations? 1 in 5 people in the US has a disability. You can't assume that someone does or doesn't have a disability. Some disabilities may not be obvious to you. Some people with disabilities don't need accommodations. But those who do may not be able to participate in services without them. Many of us are open to asking everyone about accommodations, but don't know how and are worried about saying the wrong thing. We have created these videos to demonstrate how to ask people if they need accommodations. As you'll notice, asking can become a natural part of your conversations with all survivors. Asking about accommodations isn't a one-time thing. It is important that we continue to check in with people to see if they need accommodations during future interactions as well. Asking about accommodations is less about saying the right thing. It is more about having a conversation and understanding that people have unique needs. Discuss needs and options with the person to learn what works for them. In these videos, the actors have demonstrated how to have a conversation about accommodations in an observable way. In our corresponding accommodations toolkit, you can learn about some of the ways to identify accommodations as you learn more about a person and their preferences and needs. In the toolkit, you can also read tips about how to provide accommodations and more examples of accommodations. This video was created by the National Resource Center for Reaching Victims. The National Resource Center is a one-stop shop for victim service providers, culturally specific organizations, criminal justice professionals, and policymakers. We provide information and expert guidance to enhance your capacity to identify, reach, and serve all victims, especially those from communities that have less access to healing services and avenues to justice. If you are interested in receiving training or technical assistance from the NRC, please visit our website at reachingvictims.org.